It is freaking hot today, dude. It is so hot. Boys, what's the deal, baby? You know what it is. We're back with another review. This time we got a Genesis, a 3.8. I'm stoked, baby, okay? Number one thing right off the bat, this thing just sounds really good. It's got an ARC dual grip exhaust, which is a super popular setup for these things. Let's go ahead and do a little pull, and then we'll get into the review, dude. All right, I hope you guys liked that edit. If you didn't, it's all good, baby. It's still in the video. Let's see how many cars this thing will murk based off the acceleration. All right, starting in first gear, 3,000. Okay, so a little bit odd on the first. Okay, all right, that's okay. Let me mention this. I had the traction control on, and the traction control in this car is extremely aggressive, okay? Like, very aggressive. Let me tell you why. So this is a BK1, right? This is the first generation of Genesises ever built. This generation was built by BMW people. Basically, BMW technicians and engineers were offered an absurd amount of money from Hyundai to come build this car kind of like the M3. The reason that happened is because BMW was starting to take away the engineers' freedom of what they could do creatively with the M3. So they were like, huh, Genesis offers me good money. I can do whatever I want to this car. I'm in. So this car was built by BMW engineers, and it's the first one to be built by them. Now, the reason the traction control is so aggressive in this car is because Hyundai had never had a sports car in their lineup. So Hyundai told the engineers, look, you guys do whatever you want with this thing, but please make sure the traction control system and safety systems in this car are a little bit over the top, because our customer base is not used to this type of platform and they will crash. So that's why the traction control system in this car is so intense. Third gear, 4,000 RPM, 50 miles an hour. Let's get it, baby. Oh, it's got some good, okay. Oh, okay. That's actually pretty good, dude. This car will for sure murk things. That's good to know. The owner has a couple things done to this car. And by the way, all of these parts are from Throttle.com. So if you haven't already, check out Throttle.com. They have some amazing parts, as you can probably see from the outside shots that I put at the beginning of this video. Go check them out. Basically, it's a full bolt-on car. I'm gonna put the mod list down in the description. It's a lot of stuff. I also wanna mention that this is a track edition. So this is like the top of the line type of coupe that you could get from Hyundai when it first came out. So that means it's got tighter suspension, bigger wheels, Brembo brakes, and it's got a couple different little things on the body. It looks really good. Basically, it's a stock car from the outside apart from the carbon pieces. So this is what they look like, and they look really good. I really like it, to be honest with you. Oh, it sounds so good, dude. Dude, you gotta love that V6 noise, man. I love that. I love that this car's NA. So the Genesis comes in two different types of platforms, basically. There's this, the V6, and there is the 2.0 turbo. The V6 back then was like the more sought after type for sure, and it sounds a lot better, to be honest. And if you weren't gonna modify either one of the two, the V6 would be the way to go. Let's get it, baby. This thing's murking things. This thing, although it does look pretty low, this thing is actually on stock suspension. Since it's the track edition, it comes a little bit lower from the factory, and it's a little bit tighter. So far, feels pretty good. A little bit loose because it's stock suspension, so it is what it is. But we're about to hit some corners, so let's find out how this thing actually does. All right, first corner, downshift into third, dipping into the corner. Oh, a little squirrely on the oversteer there. Okay, boys. Something that this car has is snap oversteer, okay? So what that is if you let off the throttle or if you go into a corner too hard, the rear end tends to rotate pretty aggressively, pretty quickly. So not super ideal, but it's totally manageable if you know what's going on and what it is, which thankfully I do. I've dealt with snap oversteer many times in MR2s. But sometimes you will get that rotation out of a corner or in the middle of a corner, depending on how you're inputting on the throttle. a little bit sketchy, but honestly, kind of makes it more fun. Let's be real. I mean, you don't want a car that's too easy to drive. Oh yeah, dude. Dipping and diving, baby. We're dodging and weaving right now. We got a Scion TC behind us, dude. He is not keeping up. Oh yeah, dude. This thing's got some freaking grip, dude. This car's actually a bit heavy. It's 3,400 pounds, but at the same time, it is a coupe. Most coupes are heavy. It is the way it is. It does hide its weight relatively well. Like I said, I can still feel the weight, but it doesn't feel like it's 3,400 pounds. It just feels a bit heavy. That being said, just because it's heavy does not mean it feels sluggish. I can still feel this thing gripping up through corners like no tomorrow. And let's keep in mind, the back tires on this car are kind of bald right now. Is what it is. I'm still running it, dude. Let's get it. All right, boys, let's give her another good pull right here. First gear. Woo! There's not many better sounds than like a naturally aspirated, bolted on V6 with a nice exhaust. Let's be honest. Woo! Oh, sounds so good. Yeah, dude, this thing has some really good mid-range torque. I think this is where this car actually really shines, is the 4,000 to 6,000 range. I mean, I guess that's technically top end kind of, but mid-rangey, stay in third gear kind of car on the canyons is so fun. Like, you don't have to downshift a second to get all the power. You can be right at 3,000 and then pull all the way to 6. Feels awesome, super linear, keeps pulling you every RPM you get up to. It's nice. Something I definitely want to mention is the transmission in this car. I know I kind of already touched on it. It feels really good. Probably some of that is chalked up to the BMW engineers behind the project, but overall, this transmission feels really solid. It feels overbuilt for this car, which in my opinion is a good thing, because that means it can probably hold more power if you really wanted to throw it at it. But as a stock car or just a bolted on car, you know you have like some strength behind it, so it's okay to rip it. It's confident. Hey baby, you know what it is? It's confidence inspiring, boys. Try out the brakes here. Oh, the Brembos are good, dude. I want to be careful of the oversteer here. You gotta be very careful with the throttle, dude. I mean, it is what it is. It makes it more fun for sure. It's definitely more engaging. But you gotta be careful with that throttle, man. Brakes are good in this car, obviously. Brembo brakes from the factory, they kill it. They're honestly a little bit overpowering for this car, which is fine by me, dude. Ooh, you gotta be careful. Ooh, downshift. This, honestly, for me, is a pretty engaging car. And like, I know most of the cars that I review are like engaging cars. Go figure, it's a car channel, but this truly like requires effort to drive fast. It's not like a newer car where you can go very fast very easily. This requires some effort, and I think it requires some skill, because snap oversteer and a little bit jolty of a throttle / transmission combination there, it makes you work for it, dude. You gotta work for it. I really like that this car looks the part too. Like, it not only does it sound good and perform good, it actually looks good. This is a car that I really actually do like the outside. I like the way it looks. Even stock, these things look great. I used to want one of these back in the day. Back in the day, I'm 23, dude. I used to want one of these when I turned 16. I loved the way the outside of these looked, and I loved the way they sounded. And that was all that I knew about them. I didn't know that they actually performed well. I could assume so, but I knew nothing about them, and they really appealed to me. Good corner here. Oh, it rips, dude. Oh, I scared myself. I thought it was a cop. We're good. Back on the throttle, baby. Push it to the limit. All right, boys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I definitely enjoyed driving this thing. Overall, this thing's a bit of an oddball in my opinion. It's not something that you see often, and it's definitely not something that I ever thought that I would really enjoy. But dude, that's what happens when you start driving this kind of stuff. I really do enjoy it. The brakes are fantastic. The acceleration's great. Sounds great. Suspension's fantastic. And it handles, and it makes you focus, because snap oversteer, baby. So on that note, boys, I'm gonna have to end it. I appreciate you guys for watching. You have no idea. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace. That was a rooster.